expressed in this program by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis. And breaking scoreboard, Simone of the Olympics. Defense and big business, the Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the three in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bale in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. DeeTrynt, GameChanga Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz. Man, what's really good? You feel me? I know. We ain't talked basketball in a few days, getting ready for the little mama birthday. Got some little things going on, but I appreciate y'all rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it like a motherfucker. So listen though. Let's talk about these Cavs. Okay? Now, all right. They 3 games within the preseason. Preseason only 5 games now. Or at least this offseason it is. I believe it's usually more, but hey, it is what it is. But the first 2 games were interesting. Well, actually, the whole Cavs preseason is interesting because trying to figure out how, what the rotations and stuff gonna be like, how they gonna try to get everybody to fit, what their roles is and things like that. That was definitely going to be an interesting thing to check out and to see, what is this coaching staff trying to do? Who they trying to get the most out of? Why they trying to get the most out of them? So games 1 and 2, the first game, right? They started Karis LeVert. They started Kevin Love against Philly. Mobley is out. He just had a slight little ankle twist, being his size and where he at in his development for the team. It was just right and necessary to take precaution. So I'm not too concerned. But however, where things seem to falter at, it seems to create new opportunity. So this is a good opportunity in these first or probably the whole preseason. Even though it is, well, actually, it's only 4 games, huh? So that my fault, y'all. Friday, the Cavs will be down here in Florida, in Orlando, right down the street from me, actually, where they're going to finish off the preseason. And it is to believe that Evan Mobley just might play, which would definitely be interesting because, just as fans, man, we all want to see what the new Cavaliers team going to look like with these pieces. It's been interesting to see what they've been looking like so far, not fully assembled. I know it probably leave a bad taste in some of our mouths because our season last year was plagued by a lot of injuries and things going on. So, but like I said, he might play this Sunday. But let's get back into these first couple games. Y'all gotta excuse me for the erratic talk. I'm sharing it over the social medias right now, just trying to, get some people in and things like that. So you gotta just excuse me. First game, as I say, they started Karis, they started Love with Garland, Mitchell, and Allen, which I think was smart because losing Mobley when you did, and also not having Windler, which is another subject I get to, available right now, you need to keep some type of firepower in that offense, except for that starting lineup. So starting Karras and Love, essentially, Allen and Karras and a little bit of Donovan is like your defensive guys on that starting unit right there. I'm not saying Garland can't defend. It's just he's not looked at as a threat defender right now. We all know Love definitely not looked at as a threat defender right now. So the game was cool. I mean, the Cavs only lost by one. The starters only played so much of the first. They actually put up like 64 points in the first half. They were shooting it like crazy from the outside, getting a lot of open shots. It was interesting. Guys came in. One guy that stood out uh, above everybody else, um, alongside with the starters above everybody else, was DeeTrynt. Now, I don't want to mess up his first name because I hate butchering people's name and I hate them butchering my name. But he showed a lot of promise in that first quarter, in that first game, especially in that second half when he played majority of the fourth quarter, if not all of the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. So as we looking to fill out that roster, we're looking at guys like RJ Nembhard, trying to see what Isaiah Mobley gonna bring up, if Windler gonna even, stay healthy enough to make an impression on the team like that. Um, you know, it was nice to see something stand out. DeeTrynt played really, really good. I just can't stress enough how good he played in that first game. So then they come back and they play Philly in the second game. And the second game wasn't really that close. I think Philly took some type of felt some type of way about how the Cavs came out and kind of punched them in the face, which is understandable for a team that's considered one of the best three teams in the Eastern Conference, supposed to contend to have everything to be a title contender. I can see how they felt some type of way. They felt like Cleveland came in and punched them in the mouth a little bit. I mean, that is kind of what Cleveland do now. We just come up, punch people in the face right quick, like, hey, we here. So if you want to fight, you better fight. If not, we just gonna beat you up. It's kind of the team we like. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad at those sentiments, okay? But Philly came to play. In that second game, like I said, it wasn't really that close. A few guys stood out on our team, specifically DeeTrynt. He went perfect in that game. But I'm just trying to give in a little filler to get me to last night's game versus the Hawks. All right. Now in this second game, LeVert started again at the 3, but then they started Dean Wade at the 4. Now I understand why Love and Dean Wade is playing this 3 and 4. For one, Dean Wade is going to be able to play either the 3 or 4 depending on what's going on. And his biggest issue right now is being a consistent threat from outside. He's got all the intangibles to play that role at a high level. The role of a wing guy who can defend, add a little bit to the rebound, has some size, and can hit open shots enough to be a threat. That is something that he can do. If he can just be a better consistent shooter than Chetty, he might be all right. All right. But who's starting at this small forward position is really been like the biggest head scratcher. Okay. Well, depending on who you ask. Because if you asking me, I've said from the jump, Okoro should be the starter. It just makes no sense. For one, last year, they ran with all the young guys and brought all the veterans off the bench. That worked for them in a way that the Cavs ended up with 44 wins last year. I don't see why they would change that, and it's working. Okay. So I said, okay, look, Okoro, you spent the fifth round pick on him. I mean, a number 5 overall pick on him. All right. The guy has all the defensive prowess and intangibles that you want for the role that he's going to play. You're just worried about is he's going to kick it into gear offensively. and what kicking it into gear offensively looks like for him. Now that's understandable, all right. But we also got. I've been telling people, man, Okoro is 20 years, 21. Yeah, drafted when he was 19, so he 20. I think he 20. I don't even think he turned 21 yet. All right, I think he turns 21 on his next birthday, and it just so happened that me, him, and Darius Garland birthdays all is in the same week. Like all our birthdays in like a 7-day span, an 8-day span. So I think that's just pretty crazy right there. That you know what I'm saying. That our birthdays is close like that, being in Cleveland like that. You know what I'm saying. That's just on another note. Let me not do that. But you figure, no, if a Okoro can give you something on the offensive end and become a threat, and for him it's different because he has various ways that he could potentially be effective on the offensive end. So just tapping into that, just waiting to see how that come. I've been preaching that. You got a young team. And I also think something that's underrated is I think Okoro and Evan Mobley got a lot of court synergy. Better than him and a lot of the other guys, in my opinion. I think they really do. So I feel like if you want to have somebody like, Garland, like Mitchell gonna mesh well with everybody because Mitchell is Mitchell, right? And Garland going too much, he gonna basically feel with everybody because he the facilitator and they used to him and they know what he brings to the table. They didn't grow with him. But as a combos, it's Mitchell and Darius on the offensive end, and then on the defensive end is Mobley and Allen. Well, Allen gonna get his regardless, being a big man, just because between getting rebounds, getting defenses, playing good defense to get possessions back, running the floor, cutting hard and smart off the pick and rolls. Allen gonna get 15 and 15 alone just off that, just because of the type of talent he got around him. Evan Mobley is kind of a loner guy on offense, which adds to the I want to say maybe nervousness, maybe not, maybe anxiousness. I don't want to say concern. I want to say the expectation. It has an impact on the expectation of what Mobley can be in his second year. How is he utilized? What is his offensive repertoire like? What does it start with? What does it end with? Does it end? What is his base package though? And I feel like, Okoro, him and Okoro are two guys who could find that synergy like that. That can be the 2-man wing offensive game. Two-way game actually, because both of them play good defense and they got potential on offense. So, and if that happens, which I believe is going to happen, but when that happens, I should say, it's going to give the Cavs a new dynamic with the starting five that's never been seen before. When you got two guys in your backcourt who could torch you on any given and every given night while still creating for others. Also, while adding two wings who not only can dominate on the defensive floor on the one-on-one side and on the team defensive side, but can still come down on the other end and give you 20, 25, 30, 35. On top of pair that with a big man who can get you 15 and 15 every night. That's a different dynamic than the NBA has really seen. That's a lot of talent with specified roles that can really change the whole way people build teams. The Cleveland with this starting five alone could have a potential dynasty for the next 8 years. Like, it's really something nice. But anyway, now, last night, Okoro showed his behind, okay? Last night, they played Atlanta. This is significant because these teams are almost a mirror match. If you asking me, these starting lineups are a mirror match, all right? They got Trae Young, and they just traded for DeJounte Murray, right? Which is another dynamic guard that allows Darius Garland to not be the main facilitator and main backcourt scoring threat. Okay. I ain't even got to the rest of it yet, but I'm getting there though. Just bear with me for a second, okay? Then they got wings, right? DeAndre Hunter, who was in like his 5th year now. Yeah, because I think him and Garland was in the same draft. So in like his 5th year now. So he he's a defensive guy. They said his offense gonna kick in. It started to kick in last year in year 4. All right. Then you got John Collins, who was just supposed to be this two-way guy who could do a little bit of everything on offense. All right. Play good defense. And then they got a big man in Capella who's really just like a lob threat defensive guy. All right. So, look at Cleveland. Cleveland, the same thing, with the backcourt. You add a Coro. You add Mobley. You look at Allen. I mean, front courts, back courts is virtually the same, or two peas in a pot. And they both made similar moves this offseason. They both were in the play-in last year. Unfortunately, the Cavaliers lost to the Hawks. All right, which I think was a chess moves anyway, but that's a conversation we've had already. And so yeah, I picked the Hawks to be a number 2 seed in this Eastern Conference. I just really think they're really, really overlooked, in my opinion. So this was a good test for the Cavs last night. And understand, a lot of teams did some shuffling in this offseason. So it's going to be, an adjustment period. People got to get used to playing with their new teammates, with their new coaching staffs and things like that. But up until this point, right, when it comes to this starting small forward position for the Cavs, up until this point, it's really been an open race and nobody's really stated their claim. Karras looked it really good at the 3, but he didn't look like he was playing to his strengths starting at the 3. So I think, if they seen like most of us seen as basketball fanatics and basketball minds with some type of IQ, Karras will be more effective for this team coming in, subbing in for Garland or Mitchell versus playing alongside them in a starting role. Because ultimately those 3 guys will bring you the bulk of your scoring offense. Excuse me. It's only one basketball, and it's only so many minutes in a game. So JB can only play the combination of this guy with that guy and that guy with this guy for so many minutes. He has to spread it out. You got to consider foul trouble and things like that. Having Raul Neto really helps. We'll get to him in a second. But last night, my man Okoro stepped up. All right, first the Cavs changed the lineup again. Mitchell, Garland, and Allen started in their usual position, and then it was Okoro at the 3 and Lamar Stevens at the 4. Now, I like Lamar Stevens as a player on this Cavaliers team. His build, his natural skill set. I think it fits with this team in that wing position, whether it be 3 or him being strong enough to play opposing forwards, like a PJ Tucker does for us. I think he has a way better offensive game than what a PJ Tucker can bring. But I think it has to come together with more of his IQ for the game, just as a scorer and as what makes him effective in his defensive modes. So like I say, the IQ thing and his ball handling. I feel like if he had a crispier ball handle, it'd be easier for him to get to his mid-range shot or take a guy off the dribble and drive it and dunk it, because he really got ups. Like, he's really athletic. But he hadn't played a lot in the first 2 games. So I was wondering, like, why is Lamar Stevens not playing? Is it because they already know what they're going to do with him and they just trying to see what the other guys going to do? Because in the second game in Philly, I don't think they were really trying to win that game. I just think they were just running like a system and just trying to see how things work And I think the players did a phenomenal job of sticking to the system. Even if they wanted to do their own thing, they stuck to the system and to the plan for the game, which, in my opinion, bodes well for long-term success. Because if you can get guys to start doing it and practicing it in games that really don't matter, and they keep that going on through an 82 game regular season, now you're conditioning them for when it matters, and they got to keep that same poise. Practice makes perfect. You play like you practice. So as long as that's something that's being preached to you, and it's something you got to practice consistently, several months, it becomes a second habit nature. Or a second nature habit. I'm sorry, second nature habit. Um, but last night, all right, I know I keep saying that and you keep keeping off. I was so impressed by both Okoro and Stevens. For one, I feel like Stevens is a hothead. People look at me and say I'm tripping, but I was that guy on the court. Okay, I may not have did the outlandish things, but things affected me in a way where I wasn't playing up to my potential in certain instances where I need to, because things was bothering me. And even though you're not saying nothing, it's noticeable in your body language. Okoro and Stevens got 3 fouls in the first quarter last night, which doesn't shock me because what Atlanta was surprised at was all that defense. All right. You got Okoro, Stevens with Allen down there. If you ain't hip to Cleveland, understand that is not a 3-man combination you want to be having to battle against. They're gonna get physical with you. They're gonna contest everything. You're not just about to get free lanes to the hole and think it's okay. Not against those three. It don't work like that. And Atlanta started off really good as they in the first quarter. But I think a lot of that had to do with Okoro and Stevens getting in foul trouble. However, though, Okoro went ham. Okay. I'm going to just give you his stat line from last night, just to add some context when I say Okoro went ham. Okoro played 33 minutes. He was 7 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3-point. He had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 5. He had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 16 points. Now, the numbers don't seem to jump off the page unless you actually watch the game. And after seeing that last night, I said Okoro has made the first noticeable play for the 3 spot. Like, he's out of all 3 games, everybody who's played the 3, he has set himself, in my opinion, last night performance separated him from the rest of the pack. Dean Wade played in the first couple games, but he didn't really do nothing. I think last night would have been a mismatch for him, so they didn't really play him like that. He played a little bit though, but Dean Wade, yeah. No, Dean, yeah, he didn't play last night. I thought so. Yeah, because last night's team was, that Atlanta team a little physical, they're a little more athletic. So that was a mismatch for him. So I understand why he didn't play. But how Okoro got his points, first off, in the first quarter, he went for like 10 straight. He caught a pass down the lane from Mitchell, then he caught one from Garland, then he hit 2 threes from the side. This is while still accumulating 3 fouls. All right. Hollywood said, tripping, say Okoro always been a bucket getter. People just want him to be a shooter, but I see him being like or better than Andre Iguodala. Definitely, I see him being better than Iggy. Like, I like Iggy, so I don't want to come off as disrespect to Iggy, but even though they got similar games, I think it's 2 different people. I do like Okoro's offensive potential way more than I like what we thought Iggy could do and what he eventually ended up doing. And I think last night you seen a lot of that. Now, I would be not a good guy, Cleveland guy, if I didn't mention that there was a Chetty Osman sighting last night. Okay? Chetty had 16 points, 2 assists, 7 rebounds, 1 block. Chetty plus minus, hey, Hollywood say, I fucks with Iggy. That's my guy. No, for sure I fucks with Iggy. Osman had a plus minus of plus 28 last night. Okay? Which really helps his cause. Chetty has been wildly inconsistent to the point of aggravation. But him and Okoro subbing in for each other, in and out for each other, is like they got a synergy with like that's a nice combination. I liked it seeing that. Me personally. I really liked it seeing that. But let's go back to Okoro. Now, after Okoro did that, Okoro always known for his tenacious D. He was putting really good defense on Trae Young and DeJounte Murray when he had his chances. And offensively, his IQ was growing. The shots, Okoro always takes smart shots, in my opinion. He might be a little hesitant more than I like, but he takes smart shots for the most part. This year, he seems more decisive. Like he knew he was gonna shoot or go for an inside score before he got the ball. Like he knew what he wanted to do and how he wanted to affect the game. He's seeing what happens when you go inside outside. His first 2 scores was off layups. His next 2 scores was off jumpers from the 3. So when he started lining up at the 3, they had to respect it. They started running out. He started putting the ball on the floor and penetrating. He did that, got a nice pass to DeeTrynt. All right? Did it again, got a nice score. Okoro is evolving. And he is my guy to play that starting 3 spot. Like I say, he separated himself. But, if his outburst like this is going to inspire Chetty Osman to play better than he has at a consistent on a consistent basis, I don't see why you would break that up. I like Stevens. I like Wade. I think they're both situational guys, but I also think those are the type of guys that you keep on your team. Them your Udonis Haslam type guys. I just think though that eventually they're gonna grow. Like when they start hitting more towards their prime, they 26, 27, like that's when they're gonna be really ready on a regular starter or regular role player side. But Okoro and Chetty, they combined for 32 points for the small forward position. 32 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, a block, and a plus minus a plus 28 as a combination from your 3. That's great. You also got Mitchell who went for 24, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Even though his plus minus was negative 10, Garland had a plus minus of plus 24, 23 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. So, like I say, man, this Cavs team is going to be scary. Okoro stood out. Chetty stood out. How Garland got his points and how eventually Mitchell got his points, I liked that, in my opinion. Mitchell really came alive in that 4th quarter. And it just showed like the synergy that this team already got. Allen had like 6 blocks last night. I think they cheating Allen. Allen really had like 7 or 8 blocks last night. On the stat sheet, they cheated him out at least 2 or 3. My man was balling. Allen was playing like he was feeling disrespected or something. Like somebody said something about his mama before the game or something. Blood, he was blocking. I'm talking about he was on his walk. You hear me? It was amazing. But let's go into this DeeTrynt guy. Let me see. Let me see if I can get his name right. Mamandi Diakite, 6'9", 228. He's another Aquarian, huh? So he 121 from the College of Virginia. Interesting stat that was thrown out last night. He's won at every level he's played basketball. He won a championship in high school. He won one in college with Virginia. He was on a G League roster that won a championship. He was on a Bucks roster that won a championship a few years back. This guy has been around winning cultures for the last several years. And he plays like he understands what it takes to be a pro. Last night, Diakite had 13 rebounds. No, he had 13 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. No, 1 block, 2 steals, and assists. He had a plus minus of plus 17. He reminds me of Tristan in so many ways on the defensive end. I think he's a better shot blocker, but he's also a better offensive player. He showed the ability last night to be able to stretch the floor. In previous games, he's shown the ability to score in the inside with post moves or post fades. Last night, I felt like he took RJ Nembhard's two-way contract. I feel like RJ Nembhard only had that two-way contract because he had nobody competing for him. Mobley's going to stay regardless, but Mobley brings a nice skill set to that big position. He's almost like a big small forward, but he's going to be more of a 4 or 5. And then if you pair him with Diakite, you have something. It's especially as far as young guys who can grow in your system, option guys. And you pair that with what you feel like a Dean Wade or Lamar Stevens gets, and it gives you a lot of versatility, especially in the future because all these guys are like 26 or under, right? 26 to 21, or 20 something like that, 22. That's so they older a little bit. Yeah, we gotta keep Mama D. No, he was balling, Hooli. He was balling, bro. You know what I'm saying? If we don't keep him, somebody gonna swoop him up. So I think RJ Nembhard is just a guy who was kind of like a Sexton clone. They got rid of Sexton. You got Karras and Mitchell. So I think Mama D got that spot, bro. What's disappointing is I have not seen Dylan Windler this whole preseason. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I feel some type of way. I've been wanting to see Windler all preseason. Okay? I've been wanting to see him. I want to know. He's been getting a lot of praise in the offseason for his participation. He's gotten stronger, things like that. Him and Isaiah Mobley went down like back-to-back days. I'm almost convinced they got the tweak at the same time. Like it was them two guarding each other or something happened, and that's how the tweak happened. Because they both came up with the same thing. So they said Friday Mobley's supposed to play. I'm hoping Windler plays too. It's certain guys I feel like we've seen enough of. Karras didn't play last night, so I understand that. I feel like Karras in his first 2 games against Philly, which is legit championship competition, that he showed where his role at. He showed how he can be effective, and he showed that he's focused on this year. And I really hope that the 6-man role goes to him. I hope the 6-man role combination, when it's all said and done, we get to the bulk of the year, is Karras, Rubio, and Love. Because you can bring any of those guys in and you can move the rotation up and down to make it fit. I'm sitting here just thinking, like the Cavs really got a legit ass team, y'all. Like this ain't even just some paper champion type shit. Like, they got a legit ass team. The Cavs got a legit potential dynasty. Like, it's really about to get scary in the land. Just an update too. The Guardians had their first game against the Yankees on Tuesday. They end up losing 4-1 in that game. Um, I wouldn't be too concerned, y'all. If I'm mistaken, the Guardians play tonight. Let me verify that. Yeah, they play tonight on TBS 7:37. Yeah, in Yankee Stadium before they bring two home back to Cleveland. So, Cleveland a good road team, man. They can get one from these Yankees and, you know, bring it home and win two straight and go ahead and knock these Yanks up out of here. Definitely what we rooting for because we know they can pull it off. We got to see what they bats going to do, man. We need them bats to come alive. We need smart at bats and we need people to take their chances and capitalize on them when they get them. You catch a pitcher making a mistake, you got to make him pay every time the entire playoffs. But back to these Cavs. Um, these Cavs, bro. And for those that don't know, all right, if you've never been to Cleveland, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and Progressive Stadium is literally like 200 feet from each other. Like, you literally can walk out of the basketball arena and literally walk right into the baseball arena. They're really that close. All right. Really, really close. Just for those who've never been there, just so you know. Okay. So that energy might be cool, man. But these Cavs, bro, they going against the Magic on Friday. Um, I would like to see the entire starting lineup that they want to go with. I'm hoping it's Garland, Mitchell, Okoro, Mobley, Allen. Um, I don't expect, even if Mobley do suit up, well, he probably will. I don't think he'll play more than like 15 minutes just to get his legs up under him. He may do 20 just to get his legs up under him, see how it goes. Just, make sure his conditioning right. You don't want nothing to re-aggravate or nothing like that. So. And I wouldn't be surprised if they held him out, but I would like to see that because I want to see what the start and backup rotation gonna be right now. You know, is it gonna be Love, Karras, and Chetty, and then you bring in Neto and Lopez? You know, um, has Dean Wade and Lamar Stevens been more consistent enough to push Chetty back a little bit? Like, we got to see how that's gonna work out. So I'm really looking forward to the Orlando Magic game. You should be able. Let me see. Let me check this out. They play the Magic on Friday, which is tomorrow. Where the game gonna be shown on? Oh, so it's probably gonna be shown on the local stations. And if you got the NBA League Pass, you should be able to watch it on the app. Also, Yahoo Sports got a thing too. If you download the Yahoo Sports app, they got a thing where you can pay to watch games, just that specific game, or you can get like a little subscription to League Pass or something. So it's definitely options. Right now the injury report got Windler, Mobley, Wade, Love, and Karras all day to day. So when you see it day to day, that usually just means precautionary. Not necessarily that the guy is like injured, he can't play. It's just that it's not necessary for him to play, and then just work more to their advantage and his advantage to just heal more. So all these guys probably gonna play. I wouldn't be surprised though if Chetty didn't play or if Love didn't really play and Windler played more. See Chetty at the 4 role and see how that might work. Um, let's go back to Chetty. Chetty played with a lot of energy last night. Chetty played with a lot of good energy last night. And Chetty played the 3 where he could just play the way he played overseas. He moved good without the ball, he found good shots, and he ready to shoot. That's the Chetty we need all year. That's the Chetty Osman we want to see every game. Guys like, and no offense, but a guy like Duncan Robinson shouldn't be getting more praise than a Chetty. And Duncan Robinson didn't play like nothing last year. Like Chetty, you've been here long enough. You've been around a winning culture system, bro. You got to step it up. Because if you don't, you out of here, bro. As much as I'll be trying to save Windler, if you can't show that you could play and be effective and not be injured, bro, you might be out of here too. All right. Now maybe you might be cat friendly and you probably like playing with the Cavs and you want to see it through with the Cavs, and that'll be fire. That'll work for us in a multitude of ways. But you got to show you can play, bro, because at this point you holding up a roster spot that could be for somebody with more of an impact. We might could package you and Chetty up and get something a little more usable. So Windler, Chetty, I got to see y'all step it up, bro. Y'all got to do something, because if y'all don't, I don't think y'all gonna make it until 20. I don't think y'all gonna be on the team by 2023, and that's only a couple months away. So, but I'm definitely happy for these Cavs. I'm really happy for Isaac Okoro, y'all. Like, to see him go off last night, and that was just small dose. That was just him going off, fitting in the system that they running. The way he moves without the ball, the way he moved with the ball, his tenacity on defense, forcing the refs to make calls. They didn't go all in his way, but the key with the refs is you got to play like that all the time. If it's something that you want to get called, get the benefit of the doubt for, you got to play like that all the time. If you don't play like that all the time, you're not gonna get the benefit of the doubt that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, right there. Let me get some You're not gonna get the benefit of the doubt that you're looking for. You gotta play with that same defensive tenacity all game. The refs can't call it against you the same way all year. At some point, the ref gotta conclude that this is just how you play. You can't be penalized for playing the way you play. You could be penalized for playing the way you play to purposely not, to try to bend the rules or be on some bullshit. But if it's a lot of people who play hard nosed D, they be in a guy's chest, they known for it. That's why a lot of calls go their way. Now it took them a couple years to get known for that, and right now Coral into his third year has pretty much started to stake that claim. But now the Cavs are more of a winning team and not just a potential, not potential, but just not just a rebuilding team. They're a potential contender. So you just keep playing like that, bro. And all y'all keep playing, play your game. Force the refs to adjust. Don't adjust to them. Force them to adjust to you. That's what separate the good teams from the great teams. You know what I mean? But I'm really happy for this Cavs team. I like the way they moving the ball. I like the way they being unselfish. Like I say, I think as long as they got, 3 scorers out there at all times, they should be cool. Even with foul trouble, they should be able to rotate and bring in guys that can at least play certain roles around main scores. So again, hold on. I'm really, really interested to see that second unit. That second, because Karras and Love, y'all. I'm telling y'all this right now, bro. Karras and Love about to be competing for 6th man of the year on this team. Love is gonna get to come out and shoot and score, and so is Karras. And when Karras start realizing that when he penetrate, Love knows how to move without the ball to get in them sweet spots, and he can know where he at, that combination gonna be sweet. Where a guy like Chetty, if he's not consistently hitting his shot to help spread the floor more and open up for, a Robin Lopez roll, or Rubio drive, however that go. Then is where you can see a Dean Wade. Dean Wade plays more aggressive than Chetty, which is why his contract is different than what Chetty got. Dean Wade plays like he wants to belong. Not even like he belongs, but like my fault, y'all. Um he Dean Wade plays more aggressive than Chetty. Like I say, that's why he getting more, and I like that. Chetty need to pick that up, but we gonna see. We could talk potential trades and all that and stuff like that. But as I've been telling most of my guys when I chop it with them on the Twitter Spaces, it's too early for that. Let us see how these guys gonna mature. Let's see what these guys gonna be on and what they gonna do. And after about 10 games, 15 games, then we can start to assess, okay, this guy ain't turned the corner yet. This guy is, this guy's playing worse than we thought. These guys are playing way better than we thought. We gotta let it play out. You can't try to have all the answers before you know what the problem is. Like, it's actually got to be a problem for it to be a solution. But DeeTrynt, GameChanga Sports Talk, Industry Sports, just talking Cavs, man. As usual, when we streaming live, we're streaming on multiple media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. You can follow us on all those social media sites, plus on top of Instagram as well. If you missed the live recordings, you can definitely catch the replays on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Radio Public. I am DeeTrynt. This is Industry Sports, and you have been watching GameChanga Sports Talk. Thank you all for tuning in. Anytime you see us live, you see the links in the bio and all that. Feel free to come in, chop it up. You know what I'm saying? Give your point of view. You're always welcome. It's been a pleasure, y'all. Y'all be easy.